It's a big bang meeting between India and the United States today and tomorrow. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has arrived in Delhi. You're probably wondering, it's an election season in the United States, a very crucial election for the bosses of Mike Pompeo and Secretary of Defence Esper. So what are they doing in India at such a crucial time in the United States? Well, that's how important India is. They're here to take part in the third India-US 2+2 ministerial dialogue to be held in Delhi tomorrow. US Secretary of Defence Mark Esper has met Rajnath Singh. Defence Minister Rajnath is holding talks with his US counterpart, while Jaishankar will hold bilaterals with Mike Pompeo, who is the Secretary of State of the US, at 7 p.m. today in Hyderabad House in Delhi. The 2+2 dialogue meet will take place tomorrow at 10 a.m., after which Pompeo and Esper will meet Prime Minister Modi at his residence. The talks are aimed at further boosting defence, security and global strategic ties between the two democracies. It's expected that the two sides will finalise the long-pending Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement that will allow the US to share precision satellite and topographical data with India, allowing for super-accurate real-time targeting by missiles, drones and aircraft. The 2+2 meeting also comes at a time as the 4-day Army Commanders Conference is set to begin in Delhi. The crucial meeting, which formulates important policy decisions through deliberations in the Army, will be attended by senior officers, including the Vice Chief of Army Staff. On October the 27th, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat and all three service chiefs will address the conference. Live images coming to you of the US Secretary of Defence, Mark Esper, observing a guard of honor, a ceremonial guard of honor outside the Ministry of Defence at South Block. I want to go across to our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, for more on this. Geeta, important bilaterals taking place between the defence ministers of both sides and the foreign ministers of both sides, and tomorrow is the very crucial 2+2. We do know that the extremely significant Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement, or BECA, is the primary pact on the table between two sides, but more than anything else, a very important arrival of these two big Trump administration leaders, Geeta, at a time when there's a crucial election in the United States.
Well, that's right, Shiv. There are very important agreements that are going to be signed tomorrow. But like you rightly pointed out, this is the final high-level meeting from the United States of America of the Trump administration. Secretary Pompeo and Esper are also traveling to Sri Lanka, Indonesia, given the importance of the Indo-Pacific. These countries are really important, and top on US's agenda is India and the agreements that are going to be signed. President Trump is going to use those agreements and signing of those agreements in his campaign that is very close to November 3rd. So it is a very important, significant agreement that would be signed tomorrow, most likely to be signed tomorrow. But the separate meetings that are taking place today are also very important. As per Rajnath Singh meeting right now at 7 p.m., Jaishankar and Pompeo would be meeting, while the defense ministers will be talking about the defense and military aspect of the bilateral relations. Pompeo and Jaishankar, Shiv, are going to really focus on post-COVID pandemic recovery. China is going to be a focus, and how to create alternatives to the global supply chain. These are very important aspects, because containing China right now is top of US and India's agenda.
Geeta, also, you know, the Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement on Geospatial Cooperation is very, very important, isn't it, Geeta? You know, there have already been some extremely important foundational military-to-military agreements signed so far. This one, we understand, is almost like a GPS for defense systems, aircrafts, missiles and drones. It allows India to tap into very, very accurate targeting data that the US can share.
Well, absolutely, Shiv. This is what I would say sealing the deal. There are 4 foundational pacts, and BECA is the final of those 4 foundational pacts. GSMOIA, LAMOA in 2016, COMCASA in 2018, and now we are looking at BECA. Once BECA is complete, the kind of merging of not just technology, information sharing, real-time information sharing is going to be almost complete. I'd say actually accurately complete. And if that's the case, then the United States of America and India trying to contain forces that are inimical to not just India and US's interests, but to all countries in the region is going to be very important. And that's why the foundational pacts and the four of them, this is the final one which will really complete how India and US are looking at the strategic relationship between the two countries and taking that forward.
Very important a deal on the table that's going to be signed. Abhishek Bhalla, defense editor, also with us to add some perspective. Abhishek, this takes things to the next level, doesn't it, as far as targeting is concerned? And we know from, whether it was Balakot or the current standoff with China, targeting of specific enemy positions is going to be of paramount importance for India's strike forces going forward. So this kind of an agreement really takes India's accuracy of targeting to the next level.
That's right, Shiv. And, this agreement is aimed at exchanging military technologies, including data on geospatial issues. So obviously, it's going to be a game changer in that sense. At this moment, I'm standing right outside South Block, where Defence Minister Rajnath Singh received his US counterpart. He was given a guard of honor a little while earlier. The two will have a short discussion ahead of the 2+2 dialogue. But really, the big focus, once again, is security and defense ties between the two countries. And it comes amid the 6-month-old tussle with China in Ladakh. And just the fact that, these kind of agreements are extremely important for military cooperation. I can tell you that a few years back, the LEMUA was signed, and we've seen the benefits of this amid the standoff when India has purchased emergency equipment, particularly equipment relating to high altitude areas from the United States.
Yes.
Just a few days back under this agreement. So these kinds of agreements obviously very crucial for military ties in the days to come.
Very important, and we'll keep updating you on all aspects of the new agreement that's going to be signed. This comes just a few days after President Trump called India filthy, a remark that has been under a great deal of controversy. But what you're seeing on your screens now is the substance of the India-US relationship. It goes way beyond an outspoken, unpredictable president like Donald Trump.